Welcome, one and all, to podcast episode number 10 of Business in the VOM Today. I'm Michael Murphy, the current president of the Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce, and this is my co-host, the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce, Jennifer O'Neill. Hello, Jennifer.
Happy New Year, Michael.
Happy New Year to you, too. 2025. Going to be a great year in the Village of Mamaroneck.
It sure is.
All right, so the Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit membership organization established in 1917 as the Businessmen's Association of Mamaroneck. We are a thriving group of merchants, restaurateurs, business professionals dedicated to helping and supporting one another for the good of the community.
Special shout out to the executive officers and board members, all volunteers who work diligently at making the Chamber an organization which promotes and supports all businesses in the Village of Mamaroneck. The Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce will continue to work hard at following our slogan, which is, Michael.
All right, everybody together, keep it local.
That is encouraging shopping, dining, and hiring, doing business locally, and advocating for the businesses in the VOM. Where do we begin, Michael?
Well, you know, Jennifer, we in the business community, we love to plan ahead, especially now that it's the beginning of the new year. I thought in our segment, Know Your Village, what better first guest to have in January 2025? The appropriate choice as we kick off the new year. We're welcoming the Village of Mamaroneck planner and the head of planning and development, Dan Siegel. Dan, welcome to the show.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, so we've got a few questions for you.
Sure.
We'll start with the easy ones. First of all, for our audience, which is made up of people in the Chamber of Commerce, anybody that has the time to listen to these things. So give us a little bit about your background and also what exactly a village planner does.
Sure, absolutely. Again, Daniel Siegel. I'm the village planner for Mamaroneck, or the head of the Department of Planning and Development. We oversee the administration of the department, working with the public or private sector to administer land use review, planning studies, short-term, long-term plans, economic development studies, administering any geographic information systems, and most importantly for a lot of the village, working with the land use boards, our planning board, our zoning board, our board of architectural review, and the Harbor and Coastal Management Commission.
That's great. You must be a busy guy. Now tell us,
sometimes,
how do you interact with the business community?
Well, a lot of what we do with the business community comes with the land use boards. It's the cyclical, every month we meet, the planning board meets twice, the zoning board meets once, BAR meets twice, and the Harbor Coastal meets once, where if an applicant, whether it's a homeowner or someone on the Mamaroneck Avenue who's looking to expand their business, has an application with the village to do an expansion or a special permit, we'll work with them to help them through their process, filling out the right forms, going before these land use boards. So that's one way we interact with the business community. Another is if the business community has questions to come to us, we're thinking of doing something. What can we do under zoning? What can't we do? What should we be doing to work with our neighbors, our neighboring municipalities? We'll help everything we can, these village business members and these community members, to advance their business, to help be profitable and sustainable, and work with them to make sure that they can achieve the results they're looking for.
That's terrific. It seems like that if someone is looking to start a business in the Village of Mamaroneck or to renovate an existing business, it'd be wise for them to contact your department first to see what the steps might be, possibly, or find out if it's a business that we actually want here.
That could be one way to do it. I would also suggest to that applicant talking to the chamber itself, knowing what other businesses are in the village. Is there an oversaturation? Is there a market demand? We work with you guys, and we can work with the business community as best we can to make sure that any application comes forward is the best for them and the best for the village as well.
I like that. So it looks like we're going to be working together with the Village of Mamaroneck in 2025 to help new businesses come into the area. All right, so what significant changes do you anticipate in 2025?
Well, village-wide for 25, we've just retained, of course, our new village manager, Kathleen Gill. Yep.
Great.
I believe that the village hall is looking to now replace our late, great Dan Sarnoff, our assistant village manager.
A giant, great guy.
Yep. We're also going to be looking to fill, as I understand, the full-time clerk treasurer position, as well as a building inspector. And then there's also in other building and other departments, there's staffing needs. So I'd like to believe that we can see these higher administrative roles be filled.
Great. Seems like there's a lot of changes coming on the horizon there. That's good. Okay, so what kind of, now, it's been said, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but over and over again, he calls the industrial area one of the gems in this area here, and I really think it is. That's where Murphy Brothers Contracting is located. We've been over there for 45 years, and 30 or 20 years in that direction, the area we're in right now. But do you see any movement in that industrial area plan? The thing what they called the maker zone?
So I've been here 5 months and getting up to speed with the village, its past plans, its current needs, and where we could go in the future. The comprehensive plan was just reviewed and updated right before I got here, and that's the guide to help look at the village for the next 10 years. As far as the industrial zone, I see really more of a market and private sector push, such as we had the buildings along the at Fenimore and the railroad tracks, the Spats properties sold. I see a lot of, if anything is going to occur, I see it's going to be private sector oriented or pushed. The village, my department would love to help as best we can with any zoning changes if they're needed, keeping the zoning, allowing some maybe new uses within the industrial manufacturing zone. So we're here to work with the business community for not just the entire village, but also the industrial community. Is it working in that zone? What can we do to help those businesses in the zone be successful and thrive, as well as working with our village engineer on the flooding issue to make sure when it rains that all these businesses don't get flooded out.
We welcome that partnership too. It's interesting because the vast majority of that 70 plus acres over there in the industrial area is B2B type of businesses or business to business, not so much business to the consumer itself. So, and for that reason, a lot of the residents in the area, both this area and Larchmont, because we're so connected in here, have very little reason other than to drive through there to get to the downtown business district or someplace else. And it's great that we rely upon your expertise and, of course, the expertise of the village manager to help us sort through that. So when the village trustees are voting on that issue, how to adopt some kind of a zoning change in that area there, that it's done with great forethought and experience like that you guys have. So glad to have you involved in that kind of stuff. So great to have you on the show, Dan. Let me ask you this before I get to my last question. So
Sure.
What is your favorite part of Mamaroneck? I saw you once in Enzo, so I know that you're like our local restaurant.
My children who live in the village love
Great.
the village. My son and my daughter both love Enzo's. It's become their favorite Italian restaurant. But I would say the community feel, the downtown feel, the waterfront. I grew up on Long Island in a great little village similar like this, the village of Port Jefferson, very comparable to Mamaroneck. And just that community feel, being a part of the village, having my children started Central School here in first grade. They've gone through Central, Homix Middle School, and now my daughter's in the high school. It's just that community feeling of this village is outstanding.
You're developing roots in this village, which is great. Great to have you here. We're great that you brought your experience from Long Island. Was it Suffolk?
Correct.
You were there? From Suffolk to come here and to help us to plan, and it says on your folder right over there, plan and develop or redevelop parts of this, or the parts that are needed in the village of Mamaroneck. So, Dan, we thank you for the important work that you do for the village of Mamaroneck, and we hope to have you on in December, because we're going to look back on 2025, because that could be our last show of the year, right? My last show as president of the Chamber of Commerce, and say, how do we do? So there's a invitation for you to come back in December.
Thank you. I'll see you guys in 11 months then.
That'd be great. So
Happy New Year, Dan.
Happy New Year. Thank you, everybody.
And now, Michael, we'll move to our Taste of Mamaroneck segment. Let's welcome to the show the Chamber of Commerce members, Rebecca Lusk and Wayne Ivins. They are the owners of Sound Seafood, which just opened up in the VOM. So welcome.
Yes,
Thank
welcome
you
to
for
the
having
show.
us.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here and say, because I know you got the questions you want to ask. I did have the lobster roll, or the lobster sandwiches, rolls, and both hot and cold, absolutely delicious. So there's
you.
my plug right there.
Are you glad you got that out of
I
your
got it out of my
system?
system. I was hoping they'd bring one, but I guess I should have.
Where are you located?
We're located right on the Post Road, 1137 West Boston Post Road, right next to the Equinox Gym and across from Starbucks.
Okay, so you can go get your gym on, and then you can come and sit and eat some nice seafood and not feel guilty about it, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
How did the two of you get into the seafood business?
That would be me, I guess.
Yep.
My uncle was cooking at a seafood restaurant, and he got me into it when I was 12. He told him I was 16.
Oh.
And, yeah, it's just been ever going since then. Fishing boats, clamming, oysters, and then fish markets.
And so what made you decide to do this in Mamaroneck?
So I grew up in Mamaroneck, and Wayne's always wanted to open a store, and we just decided to become a family team and open it here. And we live here too.
What are the specialties that you have at your shop? I understand that you are seafood and sushi.
Yeah.
Is it actually called seafood? It's called Sound Seafood Market and Sushi.
Yes.
That's
Full
the
name. It's the
full name.
yes.
Okay. So how extensive is that menu?
Oh, we do everything. Fried, baked, broiled fish, platters, sushi, any fresh fish or shellfish, anything in our case will be cooked. If you want it, you can pick out some, and we'll cook it however you want.
Are you primarily retail customers, or are you business to business, or how do you
Retail.
operate?
Mostly retail. I'm going to start doing some wholesale this month. See if I can hook up with some restaurants local and get our fish out there in the local restaurants. So,
Well, Wayne, you might have heard that the Chamber is sponsoring an event with the village manager on the 28th. It's going to be at Sedona Tap House. And what we're doing is we're bringing together all the restaurant owners that are both members of the Chambers, inviting the ones that aren't members because it's a good way for them to be introduced to what the Chamber does. And folks like yourself, well, you're sort of like a grocery store, a fish store / restaurant, because you
Yes.
can take out or eat in there, which is a great thing. And we're more than happy, delighted to have you there as well. I guess you'll meet a lot of I'd imagine you'd meet a lot of the restaurant owners in the area there. So I'd come back with cards and maybe even bring an appetizer. Let them try that whatever it was that you served at your grand opening, which, by the way, was a fantastic grand opening. You weren't there.
You keep rubbing it
I'm
in.
telling
I
you,
heard it was
it
wonderful.
was
Everyone
really-
that was there
Now, I
has
have-
gotten in touch with me to tell me that I missed out.
Kudos
I'm
to
sorry.
LMC Media. They were there with their camera person. I know
Yeah,
that
they
you
did
guys saw
awesome.
the 30-second video. What it was.
they
It
did
was
awesome.
sharp. Really good. Good advertisement. So
Well, what are you looking forward to in 2025 now that we're kicking off the new year and starting fresh?
We're looking to spread the word, and we're hoping to, as we discussed, open up the patio out back, and
nice.
hopefully get some tables out there. But that's a project, and we're going to get started on it.
okay, so the patio area is would be in the back of
Yes.
of your store, and it would be accessible through the store itself, or you have to walk around, or how does that work?
Either one, we can enter we have a fence, or you can go through the store. But like I said, it's a project, and we have to make sure we get all the boxes checked in order to do it.
The box is checked.
Well, we were just meeting with the
The
planning.
village planner was sitting in your chair right there, Becky, and we definitely will connect you with him to see if we can move that along once you've got your plans together.
That'd be great.
So, and what will you call that? We'll just have a separate name itself?
It'll be called Murphy and O'Neill's because we were the ones that said
It's a great name, yeah. Actually, or Becky's Place, right? What will it, but it's for, like, they can rent that out, right? Or is it open to anybody?
No,
The
it would
idea.
I
just-
think you do both private parties and,
He knows
Just-
better than me.
people that want to eat lunch or dinner out there, but you could rent it out for a private party too.
Sounds like
know.
there'd be music there, too, if you want it.
Yep. Little tiki bar,
Nice.
little pond.
Okay, do I hear cigars smoking in the background, or is that not part of this?
It depends the crowd.
Oh, great. Okay.
Sounds like a possible chamber meeting outside on the patio in the back. Okay.
I like that. A chamber meeting. Now, you guys will put that together, and we'll have a nice chamber event there. We'll bring everybody there, and they'll get to know where you guys are at.
Sounds good.
perfect.
So, we have an event with the chamber that we'll be talking about a little bit later. It's on January 13th, and it's going to be at Plaza Park Interiors, which is on Fenimore Road across the street from Majestic Kitchens. You probably know where that is, Becky, growing up here.
Yep.
So, graduate Merrimack High School?
Yes, I did.
Central?
Yes.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Great. She got her roots here, and you're putting your roots down. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And it's a great village.
It is
So
beautiful.
it's a beautiful village. And you're right near the sound. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It says you're not only selling seafood, but there's the connection right there of boats in the water and all that. So it's a perfect place to have it, right?
Yeah, I think spring and summer is going to be awesome.
Actually, your first store, as I should say, because I'm sure that as this takes off, you'll be looking at other locations. So anyways, on the 13th, we'll be doing this event for chamber members on how to improve your social media, because we find that it's really essential that everybody have a strong social media presence. It's like, it really is the most cost-effective way to advertise your business in our area, since we don't have, yellow pages. What is that? Newspapers, who does that, right? Sorry if you're listening. But, but as far as like advertising, and so I don't know how your social media is, but I hope to have you guys there on the 13th, or one of you.
Absolutely.
Somebody's got to watch the kids, am I right? Yeah.
And the White Room is beautiful with very comfortable chairs, and it's just really a nice place to have a workshop, very relaxed, and a nice place to spend time.
Yeah, but we keep it really cold so people don't fall asleep. So covered both. So this is great having you on the show, and it's here they are at the start of 2025. Anything you want, we've covered what you were thinking about doing in this year, is that you want to promote the business. You get to the end of this year, what would you like to look back and see happening with Sound Seafood?
I just want to see happy customers, Everyone's been so supportive so far this year. Well, since we opened, it's like really tight-knit, I noticed, and it's really cool. So just want to make people happy and bring some quality seafood around.
That's great. We're glad to have you in the village. We needed you. We're glad that you're here. And anything we can do to help you succeed, let us know.
I'll call you.
All right, good.
Please do.
All right, great to have you on the show.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you both.
You've been listening to episode number 10 of Business in the VOM Today, and I'm your host, Michael Murphy, and this is my co-host, Jennifer O'Neill. So we are the president and the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce, and our guest in this segment, which is Meet the Board Member, is who at this time, it is Shelley Blaufeld. Shelley is the treasurer of the Chamber of Commerce. Of course, that's her volunteer position, but she's also has a day job. Now, what is your day job?
I'm an accountant.
Ooh, and the name of your company is?
It's Continuum Advisory, and we work predominantly with small businesses and their owners.
Shelley, as we mentioned earlier, that the Chamber Board is made up of volunteers who work diligently at making the Chamber organization an organization which promotes and supports all businesses in the Village of Mamaroneck. And we thank you for your service, not only to the village, but to the business community and the Chamber. So,
Absolutely.
Hey, on your website, it says that your business does bookkeeping, tax, payroll services to our community beyond. How did you become interested in accounting?
That's interesting. So I'm an immigrant. I moved here from Israel, believe it or not. Did not speak a word of English. I was around 10 and a half. And the thing that came easiest to me was math. So I basically shined in math because I couldn't read or write English. I guess that was the start. So I just loved math. And also because I didn't have any friends because I couldn't speak the language. I would sit there like for hours in my bedroom. Remember those like shopping catalogs where you would buy stuff, obviously way before the internet.
Yeah.
You would buy stuff off shopping catalogs. I would sit there with this like antique adding machine, and I would pretend, because we had no money, I would pretend that I was buying all this stuff, and I would add it for hours and hours and hours. So to no surprise, I ended up in accounting. Shocking, right?
Okay,
I think also by looking through those catalogs, you developed a sense of style because you're very fashionable. So
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I
we're hoping
try.
that those that are listening, you should watch the video on this one here. So give wave to the camera.
Hello.
All right, that's good. I think it's at me. But anyways,
Oh, hello.
so you're from Michigan, am I correct?
I am.
Okay, so the family moved to Michigan.
Michigan.
You ended up in where in Michigan?
First in Southfield and then Bloomfield Hills, which is about a half hour north of Detroit.
Okay, but here you are, Mamaroneck. Why Mamaroneck?
So I moved to the city right after college and was in the city for a while, met my husband, and once we had kids, we knew that we were going to make the move. And my husband's from Long Island, and he didn't want to end up in Long Island. And we just literally took the train from the city and checked out different towns and fell in love with this area. And we've been here since 2006. I have my son's a sophomore in college, and my daughter's finishing up at Mamaroneck High School. She's a senior. So it's kind of crazy. We're going to be empty nesters soon. I'm like, how did this happen? I don't know. But we've been here. We love it. My kids actually both tell me that when they become real adults, they want to settle here with their families. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's how much they loved growing up in this community. It's very special.
Are either one of them interested in math?
My son's more interested in finance, but I am trying to push him to accounting. And my daughter, she's business, I guess, but nothing specific yet. But yeah, not math. Math.
You know that the Village of Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce is made up of both brick and mortar type businesses, both in the central business district, over on Boston Post Road, the industrial area. However, a number of our members are home-based businesses, and I know you're one of them. So that's something that people should know, that we are also open to home-based businesses. It's a great community to find yourself in when you join the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Now, you know, on your website, you have this great line. It says, we focus on your numbers, goals, and taxes. You focus on your business. Here we are in the beginning of 2025. What advice can you offer our chamber members to help them navigate the new year as while they're, closing out the books and starting the new?
Yeah, I find that a lot of businesses, not the ones that work with me, are behind on their books. Sometimes, there could be months behind. I've had people come to me when nobody's even looked at the books for the entire year. So my words of advice is get those books up to date, because they tell us a story about what's happened all year. It's super critical to have your books up to date. It's the only way you can do a tax projection for yourself as the owner of the business. If you don't have the numbers, you're not able to come up with any sort of estimates of what you're going to owe, if anything, in April, and nobody likes surprises. Also, by looking at the books, by having up-to-date books, you can do an analysis, like what went down this year compared to what happened the year before. Did revenues go up? Did costs go up? And that's super critical to know that stuff about your business. And also 1099s are coming up. So businesses are obligated to file their 1099s with the IRS by the end of January. So you need books to be complete in order to come through with that filing obligation. So many reasons why you want to have your books nice and tight.
So you're about to enter into the busiest part of your year.
Yep.
Soon.
Usually like mid-February till April, and then we get busy. Those that go on extension, and I have some clients that go on extension. Then we get busy again September and October. But yeah, February, March, and the first half of April gets a little dicey, but.
So, you may be sitting there listening to Shelley talk about her business and what you should be doing with your taxes and your books. And you may be thinking, how can I get in touch with Shelley? Shelley, you want to tell them how to get in touch with you?
Sure. My email is shelley@continuum.cpa, and you can also check out my website, which is www.continuum.cpa.
And you can also go on the chamber website because it's listed there. Or also you can get one of those new chamber directories that we had printed up.
Yes.
We still have a lot of them if someone wants them. and it's in there. So, Shelley, thank you for being on the show. You're hanging out.
So
as
fun.
We're going to close this out over here
Thank
with
you,
a couple
Shelley.
of announcements that we have. So, first of all, upcoming events. We have 2 events coming on in January for Chamber members and prospective members of the Chamber. The first one is, Jennifer, what is it?
The first one is in the White Room on January 13th. To improve your business, we're having a social media workshop so that people can focus on doing social media better in 2025.
Yeah, because actually it's like we said before, it's kind of like the most cost-effective way to advertise your business in the 21st century. You know, if yours is not effective, you ought to come to that workshop. It's going to be quite entertaining and informative. Now, also on January 22nd, for all of you out there in the business community, you can come to the Sarah Newman Nursing Facility Auditorium. I think it's called the New Jewish Home. I forgot what the last part of it is. But over on Palmer Avenue on the 22nd, it is the Chamber's opportunity to meet with the new village manager Kathleen Gill. Let's work together in the village to make this not only a friendly village, like they say it's the friendly village, but also business friendly. So that's what we want it to be. That's it for show number 10. We thank our guests, Dan Siegel, the Village of Mamaroneck planner, Rebecca Lusk, and Wayne Ivins, the owners of Sound Seafood and Sushi, right? And, of course, our Chamber member and treasurer, Shelley Blaufeld, owner of Continuum Accounting Services and more. And, of course, the ever-amazing LMC Media team for producing this podcast. Jennifer.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can learn more at our Chamber website, mamaroneckchamber.org. Special thank you to LMC Media. This podcast was recorded at their studio on the Avenue in Mamaroneck, New York. Visit lmcmedia.org to book your time in this state-of-the-art, convenient location
Built by
created
Murphy
by
Brothers.
Murphy Brothers.
Gotta say it.
Walkable from the Metro North train station on Mamaroneck Avenue. You can also support this nonprofit media center at lmcmedia.org/donate, and we'd like to thank specifically Matt Sullivan for making this available to us.
He's a board member. Yeah. Thank you,
sure
Matt.
is.
Right. They're amazing. You guys are amazing. Anyways, the Mamaroneck Chamber of Commerce will continue to work hard at following our slogan, which is
Keep it local.
That is encouraging shopping, dining, and hiring local. For more information on how you can join the Chamber of Commerce, visit mamaroneckchamberofcommerce.org. See you in the White Room on the 13th. Improve your social media. See you at Sarah Newman to meet the new village manager on the 22nd. It's going to be a great year, Jennifer.
It sure is. And we'll see you next month, February's 11th podcast.